Hello, everybody. The title of this particular episode will be something along the lines of scaling after 3, 2, 1, go, or modifying workouts after 3, 2, 1, go. I think there can be some hesitancy. Did I just make that word up? Hesitancy? There can be some, people can be a bit hesitant to scale after 3, 2, 1, go, right? They feel that which is somewhat true. During the warm-up, you're kind of doing this assessment, seeing how I feel today. Is it going to be a moderate day? Am I going to just bring the heat? Is it going to be low intensity? How do the old joints feel? How did I sleep last night? How do the weights feel during the warm-up? Am I going to go prescribed? Am I going to scale or modify in some way? And then ideally, during that time, you make the decision, and then you hit the clock, 3, 2, 1, go happens, and you begin the workout. And ideally, you chose everything really well, and you do the workout, and it's great, and you cool down, go home, and life goes on. But every now and then, if you work out enough, you're not always going to get it right for whatever particular reason it happens to be. And sometimes only after 3, 2, 1, go happens and you're in the workout, be it round 1, round 2, whatever, do you realize I have made a grave mistake and I need to somehow modify. I should have modified more or reduced the loading or whatever it happens to be. But then, since you're a human being, right? You see the clock running and I don't want to disrupt my workout. The workout's already started. And if I stop and change the weights, that's going to take 30 seconds or 75 seconds or whatever. And then what do? The clock's still running. Do I start over? I'm 2 rounds into this thing and I've messed everything up and I've had this 75-second break. And now if I start where I left off with the weight that makes more sense, now it's not this perfect, neatly wrapped workout because I had to do this change. I feel that too. I'm a human being, and I'm here to tell you, even though it's powerful, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. Don't worry about it. If you find yourself in that situation, and I did yesterday, so I'm going to relate my knucklehead story here in a second. If you find yourself in that situation, stop. Just stop. Who cares if the clock keeps running? Who cares? Stop. Make whatever was the appropriate decision that for whatever reason it just didn't happen. Change the weights, modify the reps, middle of the workout, who cares? And then imagine this, clock just keeps running. You just pick it up and you just start again. And at the end of it, your workout is 90 seconds longer than it would have been, and you had this little break in your intensity. Whoop-de-doo. Now again, I'm saying this still feeling all those same powerful pressures to not do this, but I'm going to mess this up. But Adrian Bosman has some really great phrase that he said recently during one of the very not random podcasts that we were doing, not exactly on this topic, but something similar, where you have to change or modify something, or you didn't get in, quote unquote, the perfect workout. And Boz had some fantastic line where he said, basically, thank goodness that your physiology as a human is not as delicate and precise as most of us just feel that it is. That this little blip is somehow going to throw off your workout because you're this finely tuned Ferrari. It's just that's not the case. You've got a much wider strike zone than you realize. And so stopping even in the middle of the workout, changing the weights if needed, and driving on will have arguably zero effect on your long-term health and fitness in any negative way, let me say it that way. Somebody's not going to be like, oh, geez, man, Pat's really not as fit as we thought that he would be for as long as he's been doing CrossFit. Wow, that's shocking. Why is that? And they'll be like, oh, 10 months ago, he stopped during a workout, so he got in a 90-second break, one workout 9 or 10 months ago, and has just never recovered from it. It threw off all of his training for the rest of his life. He's just so not fit now. Obviously, when you put it into perspective like that, it sounds really laughably silly, right? That if you're talking about working out for weeks and months and years, and you do something like modifying a workout after 3, 2, 1, go every now and then, it will have no negative impact at all. As a matter of fact, it will probably have, if anything, a potentially positive impact. Because let's think about the opposite. Your ego gets the best of you. You know that you should modify the weight after 3, 2, 1, go, but you can't because you want to put on Instagram that you put it as prescribed. And so you just gut it out. And if you're struggling with a loading that is beyond what you should be doing, and CrossFit workouts are fatiguing, so now you're fatigued under a load that's a little bit inappropriate for you, there's a good chance that under fatigue, that technique or form might break down, and now you're in that gray area of risking some sort of potential injury or strain simply because you just didn't want to stop because the workout had already started. We've all been there. Don't make that decision. Do the right thing. Long-term health and fitness is the goal, not looking cool on Instagram. I know, it's shocking in 2022, but here we go. So yesterday's workout, if there was ever, I've been very vocal about this, if you're a programmer and you're programming for a community, you program for the community. You don't program for yourself, right? If you're programming just what you like, well then you're not doing anyone any favors. And that's what you have to do to be a good, competent programmer, is program what's needed, not what you want or what people want. Yesterday's workout is everything that I hate and despise. And if I was just programming what I like, you would never see yesterday's workout on Linchpin. That's for darn sure. So the workout was 50, 35, 20 reps for time of a wall ball shot and then a Russian kettlebell swing. So 50 of each, 35 of each, 20 of each. 20-pound ball for the men, 14 for women, classic 10-foot, 9-foot target. And then the Russian kettlebell swing was with the heavy bell, 70-pounder for the men, 53 for the women. Absolutely despise this combination of movements. It's wonderful for fitness, but for me, based upon, well, first of all, I don't like wall balls. I'm not the world's tallest guy. But then, just based upon my body and dumb stuff that I've done to my body through the military and motorcycle wrecks, particularly my broken pelvis that's got plates and screws holding it together for the last 20 years, I'm familiar with this combination of movements, and it feels like an ice pick is being driven into my lumbar spine anytime this sort of a thing is paired together. So I knew that it was coming. I knew that if I was going to be able to gut this workout out safely, I'd have to do a nice warm-up and really be smart. Well, guess what? As we've said before here on Linchpin Conversations, the real world has no regard for your plans. No regard at all. Yesterday, we had kids' sports and basketball happening. We've got a 12-year-old boy, a 10-year-old boy, and then our 6-month-old baby girl. Got a lot of moving parts. There's 2 dogs in the mix as well. The boys had 2 different basketball games at 2 different locations, so the family had to split. There was a lot of logistics happening. Of course, we're trying to make sure the baby's nap schedule doesn't get messed up. Here I have one of her teething rings on my desk. And all of a sudden it became very apparent that I had a 20-minute window to get this workout in. The entire workout. Warm up, the whole 9 yards, or just based upon everything that we had going on, because real life doesn't care about your fitness schedule, it wasn't going to happen. So I was like, oh, all the workouts for this to happen to. I needed a good warm-up, right? There was the angel and devil on one shoulder. Angel saying, well, you should probably modify it in some way, right? Because you know this isn't going to go well for you. Now you have a reduced time window, so make a smart decision. The devil's like, you've been doing CrossFit for 16 years. You kidding me? You better do this thing prescribed. What do you think? You're going to post a scaled or modified workout? Nonsense. Get it done. Suck it up. So I went into the garage with 20 minutes to do this, and I had already decided, based upon the atmospheric conditions outside, that I was not going to go do wall balls out in the front yard. I was going to do the limited equipment option, which had, in place of the wall ball shots, dumbbell thrusters, a pair of 50-pound dumbbells. 20, 15, 10 is how those dumbbell thrusters were going to go in place of the wall balls. And then the kettlebell swings for the limited equipment option, they stayed at 50, 35, 20, but you're just swinging a 50-pound dumbbell instead of the 70-pound kettlebell. Well, I've got a 75-pound kettlebell, so I figured I'd do a Frankenstein version. 20 dumbbell thrusters, then 50 swings with the 70-pounder, 15 dumbbell thrusters, 35 swings with the 70-pounder, 10 dumbbell thrusters, 20 swings with the 70-pounder. And those dumbbell thrusters would be with a pair of 50-pound dumbbells. But I had a 20-minute window based upon the goal times, what people were posting. Depending upon how this goes, this workout's going to take me 11 to 14 minutes, let's say. So I'm going to figure on 14. That means out of my 20-minute window, I only have 7 minutes to warm up. I'm not going to be able to do the full warm-up, which would have made my back feel so good, but I've only got 7 minutes. So I did this modified thing. I've got a bunch of kettlebells in the garage, so I laid out a 35-pound kettlebell, a 53-pound kettlebell, and a 70-pound kettlebell. And then I laid out a pair of 25-pound dumbbells, 35-pound dumbbells, and 50-pound dumbbells. Right now in the story, based upon the lead-in, you might be thinking, well, good for you, Pat. Sounds like you made some intelligent decisions and you had all these options laid out to scale quickly. No, that wasn't the case. I fully intended on doing this thing prescribed with the 50-pound dumbbells and the 70-pound kettlebell. This was just going to be my quick, expedient 7-minute warm-up. I basically took the lightest dumbbell and the lightest kettlebell and the lightest dumbbells and did 5 thrusters, 10 swings. Did that 2 or 3 times just to get loose. Rested a minute. Then I grabbed the 53-pound kettlebell, the 35-pound dumbbells. Did a couple rounds of 5 thrusters and 10 swings just to get loose. Rested about a minute. And then I grabbed the 70-pound kettlebell and the 50-pound dumbbells and just did 5 thrusters, 10 swings, a couple times, set it down. Put all the gear away. I'm like, that took about 7 minutes. I touched the prescribed loading. Here we go. I got 14 minutes left. Hit the clock. Started the clock. First of all, it's freezing cold in my garage. I was not properly warmed up by a long shot. Okay, it was better than nothing, but I can't say much more than that. It was better than nothing. I started moving, grabbed the 70-pound kettlebell, got a set of, it started with the 20 thrusters. So I did 20 dumbbell thrusters. They felt like 1,000,000 pounds. Set those down. I would love to say that I did them unbroken. I did not do them unbroken. I was not moving well, cold and cranky in the morning, not properly warmed up. That should have been my first indication that something was rotten in Denmark. Set them down. I'm like, nope, I'm sticking with it. Grabbed the 70-pound kettlebell, started swinging that thing just to see how much into the 50 I could punch into there, the set of 50. I got about 15 reps in, and I already, this is just the beginning of the workout, already felt just the stabbing pain in my lumbar spine that I knew was going to occur. And I was like, what would be really smart of me right now? To ignore it. That's a smart thing to do. So I'm going to ignore it a little bit because I'm dumb and I listen to my ego. So I kept swinging. Got about another 10 reps in, about 25 reps right now, which is probably when I would set the darn bell down no matter what. Set it down at 25, and then when I went to kind of stand back up, my low back let me know that at that moment we were not friends and we were not on speaking terms, and that it was confused as to why I was torturing it. And it was in that moment, as I looked at the clock continue to tick, knowing that I had this short window of time to get my workout in or not get it in, and we had to take off and do these basketball games and take care of the baby, that I was like, set the 70-pound bell aside. I moved the 53-pound bell over, and I continued the workout at the reduced loading using the 53-pound kettlebell. Still broke everything up. Everything. Every set of everything I broke up. It was just, like I said, it was a workout that I knew was going to be a nightmare for me. And me biting off big sets was going to irritate my low back even more. So I did small sets, rest. Small sets, rest. Made my way through the workout with the 50-pound dumbbells, the 53-pound kettlebell, and it took me, I think, 12 minutes and 53 seconds or something like that. I was huffing and puffing, did the job, I was good to go, sprinted back in the house and get out the door for all the kids' basketball games and all that. But here's the deal, right? I mean, I communicate these messages for a living, and been doing this stuff a really long time, and even I feel that desire to not modify something after 3, 2, 1, go. It is a powerful urge. Luckily, I was able to make the right decision, but in my head I also had, as I'm swinging that 70-pound bell and I just feel like there's a jackhammer on my lumbar spine, I'm thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Like, why? Right? I mean, the whole point of the workout of the day is you get the appropriate stimulus in there, based upon what you did the day before. You need to go below parallel. You don't need to go below parallel. You should go light. You should go moderate. But then you look at that prescribed stimulus, and I always tell everybody, if it fits beautifully, great. If you need to give it a little massage or a little modification based upon what you have going on, that's the intelligent thing to do. I should have known off the bat, grab the 53-pound bell, not the 70. I already knew this was a combination of workouts that irritate my spine. Why in the world would I not just from the get-go make a better decision? Because ego is a powerful thing. And as I was swinging that 70-pound bell and I finally set it down and I stared at it and I was like, again, why am I doing this to myself? Just to say that I swang the 70? That's ridiculous. And why am I even in the garage working out? Why am I doing that? Is it to look cool on Instagram and have people go, wow, you really smashed that workout? Or is it that when I leave the garage and I interact with my family and my friends, that I have a physical structure, a body that is to the best of my ability, happy, healthy, and physically sound, so that I can just be ready for life, to play with the kids, the whole 9 yards. And that's why it is. It's not the Instagram score, right? That's why it is. And that is better served by scaling or modifying the workout in this case. And I also had this thing pop into my head, and everybody has their different, thought process. But, I'm 46 years old, feel fantastic. And I say that's largely because of how CrossFit has taught me to eat and taught me to move and all this good stuff. As I've mentioned before, I've got a 6-month-old daughter. And as I'm swinging this 70-pound bell and my lumbar spine doesn't feel good, I think to myself, and I've had this thought in my head a lot, when this little girl is 20 years old, I will be 66. Mathematics, right? I'm really good at math. And so, I had a child later in life. And so, I've seen 66-year-olds that I don't want to be anything like. And I've seen 66-year-olds that are fit, capable, happy, and healthy, can go all day long, physically and mentally sharp, good to go. Well, that's the one that I want to be. And that one is going to be achieved by making smart decisions and keeping my knees, back, and shoulders happy and healthy while working out intelligently, and not working out unintelligently, sticking with a loading that is a bit too much for me given that movement, just to say that I did it prescribed. In the long run, that's going to serve me very poorly to be a hero one day on Instagram. So a single day of look at this, did it prescribed, is a poor trade-off to what I want the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of my life to look like. Therefore, if you have to scale after 3, 2, 1, go, scale after 3, 2, 1, go. Who cares when you scale? Make the right decision. And also, like I said about my back from accidents in the military, motorcycle wrecks, and my pelvis being broken before, there's a difference between pain and discomfort, right? You're not going to get fit without discomfort. Discomfort's fine. I don't mind discomfort. Pain is a different thing. As I said, this combination of movements, I know, based upon my body and the dumb stuff that's happened to my body, causes me pain. It doesn't cause me discomfort, it causes me pain. And therefore, reducing the loading and taking frequent breaks during the workout, that's how I could perform it in a safe, healthy fashion that is indicative and helps develop long-term fitness. So that's it. I do stupid stuff every now and then. Luckily, I didn't stick with the stupid loading for too long, made a decision, and life's good. So that's it. Have a wonderful day. Scaling is cool. We say that all the time at Linchpin, and we truly mean it. And that's it. Have a great day, and we'll talk later.